Oh, they're touring the apartment across. Oh, they moved out? Hello everyone, and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. My name is Emily, but you can call me Em. And today we're talking about how I can see ghosts and how I'm psychic. Yeah. I know it's hard to believe, but I have had some pretty spooky encounters in my life, let me just say. So, starting off, I just want to say that my childhood home was built on an Indian burial ground. So, it makes sense why they would build a house on top of that. I don't know. If I was a spirit there, I'd be angry too. I get it, but you just need to know that because that, I feel like, adds a lot of context into the stories. Most of this happened when I was in high school, but I feel like always growing up, I feel like I always kind of felt someone like watching me in my house. The basement is really like spooky. Did not like it growing up, was scared. And things really came to a head in high school. Now, the first thing that kept on happening was my alarm clock kept on going off at midnight every single night. I wouldn't have it set to midnight. I would have it turned off, like the alarm turned off, and it would just continuously go off. I remember one day it just kept going off over and over and over again. Now, I actually unplugged it and it kept going off. Now, I just hate thinking about that because that is like crazy. Like literally unplugging it, not plugged in at all, but it's still going off. Only logical explanation I can think of is ghosts. So like I said, the basement was really creepy, and there's two things that happened to me that really stick with me down there. One time, so the way that my house is like configured is essentially, okay, I'm gonna turn this way so you can see. So essentially it's the staircase, and then you walk and there's a hallway, and then there's like a living room, another play area or whatever, and then a hallway, and then a spare bedroom, bathroom, laundry room, my dad's office. Okay, that's the way it is. And I was walking down the stairs, and I swear to you, I saw shadow people. Now, if you don't know what a shadow person is, I'm gonna insert clips here. They're very creepy. You see them in a lot of haunted places. I don't know if you watch any like haunted shows or like YouTubers. Like personally, I love Sam and Colby. They're like my favorite, and they've seen shadow people before, and they've caught shadow people on camera, and I saw it with my own eyes, which is like crazy because you see something in a video and you're like, oh, but then you see it and you're like, what? So I was walking down the stairs and I saw two shadow people, and they were in the hallway, and they literally walked through the wall into our spare bedroom. Yeah, I literally saw them walk through a wall. Now, I don't have an explanation for this. There's no way that could have actually been a human, because if you didn't know, humans, they can't walk through walls. Ghosts, they can. So I saw those shadow people there, and that was really freaky. I did not like it. And then another time, I was in my bathroom. I had just gotten out of the shower, and I was standing in front of the mirror in our shower, and I could see something beside me in the reflection. But when I turned and looked in real life, I couldn't see anything. But in the mirror, I could see something. Now, I've always been freaked out by mirrors. I don't think you should put two mirrors in front of each other. That creates a portal. I will not sleep in front of a mirror. That freaks me out. Looking into a mirror too long, it does freak me out. I'm scared my reflection is gonna move. So seeing this in person absolutely terrified me. I'm just going back and forth. I'm like, is this real? What's happening? And then it went away, and my heart's beating so fast trying to figure out what just happened. And then my brother's in the basement, and he screams and comes running up the stairs. I leave the bathroom, like, what's happening? And he's like, I was in the basement trying to get a drink, and something pushed me. Something pushed him. Now, I believe that because I literally just had an experience, and right after that, whatever it was left, it pushed my brother. Now, I think the entities that were in that basement were actually like evil and not good ones. which always just like freaks me out. Then there was another time I was home alone and my dog was outside. I was look, I'm literally getting goosebumps telling these stories. But I was home alone, no one in the house, my dog outside. This was just when Taylor Swift released Taylor's version of Red, and I was listening to All Too Well 10-minute version. Now I have this video, I will include it. It might be hard for you guys to like hear, but like I remember hearing it in the moment, like watching it back and being like, what? So like I slowed it down, I did stuff with the pitch, and like to me it's clear, to me it's very clear. But I was in the kitchen home alone, I'm singing along to All Too Well, the 10-minute version, and I'm recording myself, and I'm just like in my feels, you know. I go back and watch it, and in one of the parts I'm singing, you can hear a laugh. The goosebumps. You can hear laugh. It's like hee hee. I think the ghost is a Swiftie though. Like, I think it might have been enjoying my dancing and singing. It's a little Swiftie, but that was the first time I'd ever heard something and caught it on camera. Because in my house, sometimes I would hear things, I'd see stuff out of the corner of my eye, but this is the first time I caught it on camera, and I literally don't know what it could have been. Like, I was just standing in my kitchen, and you hear a like, what? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you hear it, if you think it's real, I want to know. If you have another explanation too, I want to know, because I just don't. I just don't know. This was the craziest spiritual thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. In my entire life, ever. This story here. So my great uncle, my grandma's brother, was diagnosed with cancer and he wasn't doing well. And he was in the hospital. Now, one night, I woke up and I turned and I looked, and I saw this figure standing, kind of watching me sleep. Now, the figure, it was kind of like an outline of a figure. It was kind of transparent and it was brown. Now, it was wearing a hat and glasses like he always did. And I remember looking and like closing my eyes and opening them, and it's still there staring at me. I told it to go away and it wouldn't. And I didn't know it was him at the time. Like, I didn't put that together till later. I just woke up in the middle of the night and saw like a figure of a man staring at me, which was terrifying. And I was awake because it freaked me out so much. I was like, what is happening? I was fully awake. I wake up the next morning and I put together, oh, it was probably him. Now, why do I think it was him even though he was alive? He was dying, and I think it was part of his soul, honestly, coming to see me. Why he was seeing me? I don't know. I guess it's just because I have some sort of gift or I'm open to things. So that was creepy, and I told my family. So when they went and visited him, they told him not to be creepy, and like I told them to tell him to not be creepy and stare at me while I sleep. Like, I told them to tell him like he can communicate with me, he can talk to me, he can do whatever, but I just like don't want him to watch me sleep and be creepy because it made me feel weird. Now, this next thing is the, like, I can't. It's one of the worst feelings I've ever felt in my entire life, and it was insane. So my mom and my aunt went to go visit him in the hospital, and they knew he was gonna go soon, and they didn't want me and my brother to see him the way that he was because he wasn't, like, he couldn't talk. They didn't want us to see how he was. So that night, I was laying in my bed, my head kind of propped up, and I was on my phone. And I was scrolling on my phone, and then all of a sudden, like, I don't even know if I can explain this properly, but like all of a sudden my body just kind of went like numb / limp, and my phone was out of my hand, and I was just laying on my bed, and I was paralyzed. I literally couldn't move. I was trying so hard to muster up the strength to move. I couldn't. My head, I thought I was losing consciousness. My head, I was trying to keep it up, but it kept like falling and like my eyes closing, and I was like trying to like get it up, and it just kept like going like that. And I could hear my dad in the other room. I could hear everything that was going on. So I heard him. I knew he was there, and I was trying to speak to say something was wrong. Like I was literally trying to say like call 911. I thought I was having a stroke or something. Like I had never experienced anything like that in my entire life. It was the scariest thing. I'm trying to like regain, and I can't. And I feel like I'm stuck like this for hours. Like time is going by so slow. Now, how long did it actually happen for? I don't even know. Maybe 5 minutes. But it felt like 5 hours. Now I'm trying to get out of this. I can't. It's like I'm stuck. I'm frozen. Scariest thing ever. I thought I was going to die. Like it was so scary. And then finally I kind of start feeling my limbs, and I can start moving them a little bit. I'm like, okay, and I just sit there for a little bit. I'm like, what just happened? Like, what just happened? As I'm about to get up to tell my dad what happened, I hear his phone ring. And it's my mom saying that my great uncle just passed away. This sounds kind of crazy, and I understand that, but I think I literally felt him die. Like that's the only reasonable explanation. Like I can't like me feeling that and then getting the call that he just that doesn't make any sense. And I know I'm being super serious right now, but like that was one of the scariest moments in my life, like going through that. That's not all though. Then that night I had a dream, and when I woke up I could smell cigarettes. I was in high school. I didn't smoke. My dad didn't smoke. My mom didn't smoke. My brother didn't smoke. God, he's 5 years younger than me. And I was like, why am I smelling cigarettes? Next day I call my grandma, talk to her. I was like, did he used to smoke? And my grandma's like, yeah, but he quit like 20 years ago. Now, me smelling that, I took that as a sign that he was okay and that he had passed over, but it was actually crazy because I've never had that happen before. Like I said, hearing and seeing things was fine, but the night before, feeling things and then smelling things never happened to me before. It was crazy. Then there was the funeral. My mom, my dad, my brother, and I were the last ones to leave my grandparents' house to go to the funeral. Now, I remember leaving, and it was like he didn't want us to go in a sense, but he was also rushing us, like my dead great uncle, because we were trying to leave and the front door wouldn't open. It was unlocked, but like we couldn't get it open. We were like freaking out trying to get it open. Then in the kitchen, a pop can fell, very loud. It was empty, but it fell randomly, which is super weird. Then we finally got the door open, and then we're like starting to head out the door. And then I had a box of pasta in my room, don't ask, and it was open and it was on a desk, and it knocks over and spills everywhere in my room. And we're like, we're going to your funeral, like we're trying to like hurry up. So we go to the funeral, we're in the church, and I knew I was gonna see some stuff, and I did. We were sitting in the pews, and then at the side there was like a piano, and there was a couple of pews, but no one was sitting there. Everyone was sitting in the middle ones, and on the side ones I saw 3 almost kind of shadow figures sitting there. I believe that it was him and his 2 parents joining together to be at his funeral. But I saw them there, and then also the night before the visitation, I had never been a part of like an actual visitation before, but you know, if you've been to a visitation, if you go, there's the family, and everyone just like shakes your hand and says like sorry for your loss. So I was included in the lineup with the family, and I was at the very end. And it was in the funeral home, and I was again getting weird vibes, seeing things out of the corner of my eye, like seeing things on the ceiling, which was freaking me out. And I remember telling my family that, and then it turns out I was actually standing in front of his urn the entire night. Yeah, now he was a jokester, so maybe he was doing some of that on purpose. Like, it didn't scare me. All that didn't scare me. It was just like the physical stuff at home before he died that really scared me and freaked me out. So all that stuff happened in high school, and it all happened between like the 10th and 11th grade. So all this happened in high school, and I was already dealing with a lot of like mental health issues and anxiety and stuff, and it became too much for me. It honestly made me scared. I sat in my room one day and I said something along the lines of, spirits, please stop. I can't handle this. This is too much. Please stop bugging me. I close like whatever portal or whatever you guys are trying to communicate with me with. Like, this is too much for me. I can't do this anymore. After that, not too much happened. But then in January 2019, I got foot surgery. And when I was healing from my foot surgery, I really got into astrology and crystals. And since then, I've gotten into tarot and just a whole bunch of spirituality stuff. And I think before I just wasn't ready for, like, you want to call it like a gift, I guess. I wasn't ready for it, but I've now opened myself up. Now, I haven't really been to any haunted places or anything. I would love to do ghost hunting. But yeah, those are like the main things. I have some other stories I can tell if you want like a part 2 to this. But yeah, those were like my psychic, ghostly... Actually, I didn't even tell y'all about my psychic stuff, but that can be another video. So yeah, let me know if you want a part 2 about like other ghost stories and like psychic things that happened to me. And that's the end of this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm Em, and I'll see you next time. Bye!